decision about the fuel type without the equivalent to it. Because I think, from what I've seen 18-month-old Renault vans that cost £60,000 for sale with no miles on at 14,000. So the depreciation on the electric one absolutely has to come into it. You know, it's tremendous for it. I mean, it makes absolute dollars for some second-hand ones, but if we were looking at a new one, it's a factor. So I think it's quite hard to, you know, I appreciate this cost comparison that's in here, which indicates for diesel outright purchases cheaper over 5 years, but to then make a decision to say, you know, if we decided to go for electric, I think it would be a very different thing.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. So sorry, as I say, I should have asked that before.
Yeah.
It's
understandable. Any other comments?
Chair, can I make a suggestion based on that?
Please, yeah.
Was your comparison just between the diesel and the electric, not the hybrid?
Well, no, hybrid could be included in that as well.
Right.
Sorry, but
so
I think
other factors that rule the hybrid out. Is there any other factors that you would rule out any fuel type, so I can at least rule one fuel type out, and then I could maybe bring quotes back on, because at the moment, without funneling it down into some more specific information, you end up with 20 odd quotes, possibly, if not more.
I guess I would probably say, if we don't ever do long term, if the plan isn't ever do a long journey, a hybrid probably is not really an option, because the hybrid brings the ability to do short journeys on electric, long journeys on petrol, diesel. So if we never do the long journeys, my own thought would be maybe it's not worth considering that.
So the furthest we currently go is to probably B&Q, Passiford, and sometimes into Ackworth.
And you've had the electric manage that, hasn't it?
The electric can manage it, has managed it on the internet.
No, I'm doing it to see there.
I looked at the car cab, so...
And this is why it shouldn't be based on personal preference of the caretaker.
Yeah, no, that's right.
John?
I think on environmental grounds, we need to rule out these. I think we need to put plug-in hybrid, which would, I don't know the ranges are currently, but most of our dealers would put them on electric and the battery on plug-in hybrid. We've already got the equipment outside, so plug-in hybrids or electric vehicles would be the option.
And even though we're not doing long journeys at the minute, and probably the majority of our journeys were, it's not to say that we never would. I think that option might. I'm just throwing that into consideration. Andy, I'll let you.
Well, I was just going to say, on environmental grounds, we would have to keep, from the research I've done, which actually I think we've made, I think I mentioned it before, we would have to keep the vehicle at least 6 years before an electric vehicle becomes more environmental than a petrol vehicle, and that's from websites that are electric vehicles.
Okay, Amanda, yeah.
There is an impact on the air quality in the village, which, as Parish Council, we've set an example, we have actually been approached by people to give figures on the air quality, and it's not good because we have a lot of traffic already, so I personally should be contributing to that.
So can I just check, have we got any form of a proposal? So like, is it hybrids or?
Well, I think we perhaps look at the long wheelbase, that's the preference of, that's what the caretakers are saying, they know.
Yeah, we do need a long wheelbase. Yeah. So I'll put that in there.
My proposal would be then looking to a long wheelbase van, plug-in hybrid or electric for comparison.
Okay, so electric and hybrids,
plug-in hybrid or electric. Long wheelbase.
Long wheelbase. So that's a proposal. I'll just get a second and I'll bring you in to comment if that's okay. Can I get a seconder for Commander seconder? Susie, yeah.
Well, it's just to say, if we are looking at a final disposal value as well, so that we actually get something back at the end of the ownership, then it would seem that the middle option, the hybrid, might be better.
Yeah. So that,
Even though it's more outlay at the beginning. But that's sort of the beginning,
so we got.
Yeah, I don't know if it's helpful. If there's a decision on procurement type, so for example, if the council already know what procurement method would go
Yes.
down, and that can be decided and narrowed down, then I'm happy to bring back 3 quotes on fuel types, but I need one of them to be narrowed down. So if it's better way to flip it and
Yeah.
look at it that way, if there's any opinions on whether it's outright purchase, lease, contract hire, or a long-term hire. I don't know if that helps.
So would we like, it might help if we do it that way around, quite right. So if we wanted to do outright purchase, lease purchase, contract hire or long-term hire, does that help us? Sarah, yeah?
I would just like to ask what look, I'm sort of looking at these figures and thinking, we don't have to have that purchase, but what's the difference in, issues really between lease hire, lease purchase and contract hire?
So I've popped that on the page for you.
Oh, have you? Sorry.
Yeah. So it goes through the description of what each of the procurement methods are, the advantages and the disadvantages of that house. It's okay. There's a lot of information in there.
I'd like to propose, just to get it moving, that we then look at contract ownership, contract hire.
So just to answer your earlier question, Sarah, lease purchase is when you lease for a period of time and then you can own it at the end. Contract hire is a lease and then it goes back at the end of the lease and you never own the asset.
Okay, so can I just check with the proposer and seconder, hybrid or electric and a contract procurement, would that be okay to include in the proposal?
I think maybe we should add in one other purchase option as well, so contract hire and lease purchase.
So lease purchase and contract
Yeah.
hire,
Yeah,
and hybrid and hybrid electric, does that
I'm
help?
happy with that, Martin.
So we're saying that there's 2 procurement methods and are we still going with EV and BEV or include the diesel? And then I'll work out how many quotes and
EV and hybrid.
is that what is that the proposal?
Is that
That's John, that's what John's
Could have that,
proposal.
have the contract hire on.
Okay. So I'll take it in 2 parts then. So hybrid and electric is the fuel type. So proposed by John, seconded by Amanda. Votes in favour of that. We'll move straight to a vote. So 5 in favour. Votes against? Abstentions? 4 abstentions. Okay. So that's passed with EV and hybrid.
Yeah.
The procurement method, so we're looking at contract hire and lease purchase. So that is proposed by Amanda and Sarah, proposing and seconding. So again, I'll move to a vote. So votes in favour then please on that. So that's 5 in favour. Votes against? Susie voted against. Andy voted against. Sean voted against. So 3 against. 4 against. Yeah, 4 against. Right.
I'm just thinking about what I was telling you.
Yeah. Okay. So that gives you.
So I'm going for the EV and the hybrid on contract hire and lease purchase. And what I'll do is I'll pick 3 variant models and bring that back to the quote. So I'll
Yeah.
just communicate chair that there's going to be 3 variant models.
Yes. Thank you very much. We're all happy? Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Item 57. To receive correspondence from West Yorkshire Police regarding the creation of a community response plan and consider action. Again, we've had, so this is in the past, we've had this response. I think, personally, I think this might, I don't see why we can't defer this particular item, because I think it could be getting quite extensive discussion, and with the time of the meeting, I think we might want to take that. So I'm going to propose that we defer that. Can we get a seconder for that? Sean? Sean seconded. Votes in favour of deferral for item number 57. Thank you. Item 58, to receive an allotment water tap map and consider 2 requests from plot holders regarding the requirement of the installation of 2 new taps. So again, this is brought back from, was it Maintenance, I believe?
It was the last
council
meeting where a tap plan was requested. We did since have another request for a tap, which I've just included as part of this.
So just to, so again, this time we've got a map of where the taps are. Again, my concern, it was raised then, it's, we have like, technically we have over 100 plots on that land. What's to stop everyone requesting a tap for their allotment or just outside their allotment? I think that that's something which the Parish Council would struggle to manage. If someone purchases it themselves, who's then responsible for the maintenance? I think that calls into question. I think that in terms of the management of the allotment, I think that keeping an equal, putting them in places where it's as equal as possible, that's what I would put forward. And I'm not averse to having more taps. I'm happy to consider that and putting them in, and the Parish Council paying for that, to make it more evenly distributed. But yeah, that's all like my comments. Andy and then Susie.
Well, what I was going to say, basically agree. And look, now we've seen the map, I'm not sure that the 2 proposed ones are any further away from the tap currently than anybody else's.
Yeah.
So I think the only proviso I would add, and it's something we maybe would need to consider, is somebody of limited mobility or something like that who might have an allotment that could use more thoroughly if they have a tap closer.
Yeah.
But without that piece of knowledge, we're sorry, we're going to say there's something else we don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't see any justification for 2 more taps where they're proposing, because that could get those kind of people.
Yeah. Thank you. Susie?
Well, I was going to say the same thing, that if it's a senior citizen who's, enjoying the time with development, then from that perspective, I think we could support another tap or 2.
Yeah.
But citing, I'd probably leave to the allotment association to discuss and sort out.
Again, there might be other options.
It would be nice to have an option, I guess.
Yeah. I think in order to move this forward, I think it would be sensible for the Parish Council to work with the Allotment Association and work with them more directly in terms of getting the information. There might be alternatives like water collections and stuff like that, to accommodate some of these requests. So I think that might be preferable. So it's kind of a deferral, but to work directly with the Allotment Association. So I'm going to propose that in terms of an action. Can we get a seconder for that? Angie, seconder? Is that enough direction, by the way? Do you want anything more specific?
So is it to grant these taps or refer it to the Allotment Association for other methods?
Defer the overall decision, but contact the Allotment Association, work with them directly to get this, if there's a disability or senior citizen need there, maybe that might make the decision if we might grant it or not. So we're not granting anything, it's just to defer it to work with the Allotment Association directly and have a discussion with them.
Yeah, I can certainly speak to the Allotment Association in terms of the requirements for part holders in terms of disabilities, as there are tenants of the part holders, we would hold that information ready, so we could bring that to council. But I can certainly work with the association out other methods, for example, water books.
And I don't think we're against additional taps in other places, so I think that's a wider
Probably
discussion.
not on someone's actual plot,
Yeah.
somewhere where other people can access it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll move that to the vote then. So there's nothing being granted here, but it's to work with the allotment association more closely in terms of alternatives and maybe additional water taps. And to move that forward. And Andy seconded that. So vote in favour then, please. All in favour, thank you. Item 59. Receive correspondence from an allotment potholder regarding a request for an additional beehive and consider action. Having spoke with Gemma about this one, so the actual allotment holder already has 2 beehives, and this 3rd beehive would be more like a rehoming centre, while he assists moving it and rehoming and deal with it. He's a big, I don't know, beekeeper, I don't know much about it, but
Yes, qualifications.
and yeah, so he's got qualifications and he already has 2. So I would propose, again, I realise I'm proposing quite a lot here and kind of moving things forward, but I would propose accepting this so it can help the other allotment holders and look after the bees. So that's my proposal. Do I have a seconder? Amanda, seconding. Votes in favour, please. Thank you very much.
And just to confirm, Chair, this wouldn't be a change to the rules. The rules are too high. This is a special authorisation of this council, which is
Yeah.
part of it. Yeah.
If anything, we've got a beekeeping service now. Susie, sorry.
Maybe something like, because each year there's a swarm with a new green bee, and
Yeah,
it has
Yeah.
to go temporary home to
That's right,
move on.
yes.
Exactly, you don't bother I do. So.
And then he can bring home the food.
Okay, so item 60. To review an item referred to council from the Village Amenities Committee at its meeting on 27th April 2026, agenda item 5 and 3, consider action. To review the proposal from Councillor Sherritt as deferred by the March Council meeting to discuss with invited residents the feasibility of setting up community paddle courts with community cafe on Parish Council owned land at either Brackenhill or Quarries and make a recommendation to council. Am I okay coming to you, Susan?
Yes. If the residents were able to be here this evening, due to various circumstances. So, hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at the summary. Paddle is a very popular sport in Europe and now in the UK as well. And it's well supported by the Lawn Tennis Association because they like to support all racket sports. And so it's great from the perspective of allowing all sizes, ages and abilities to become fitter. It's a really good fun sport. I visited a set of courts at Weatherby and I was astonished by how busy they were in sort of mid-afternoon. There are a few ways of funding the project which are discussed implicitly. One of the things that has also come up is that when I referred a contact with me from Ackworth Tennis Club, and I've subsequently had a chat with the secretary. They've actually been at the paper school for several years, and that arrangement is unfortunately ending in March 2027. They need to find land, preferably for 4 courts, and even possibly a clubhouse. They've over 140 members, from juniors to seniors, and they have a coaching facility in place. They would be really happy to collaborate and try and to put factors on the back of it as a racket sport venue, because there's a possibility that having both as a request might enable funding to come forward and support the community in that. The great thing about the panel is that it would
Sorry
also
to interrupt. Can I just move council, because I'm going to propose to extend the meeting by 10 minutes?
Well, I've got to go to my daughter about half past, so.
Okay, that's fine. Can I get a seconder for that extension? Andy, seconder. Votes in favour? Thank you. Sorry, Susie.
it would also offer a means of income for the parish from the boards. And it's really to ask if we could look at the feasibility of setting up community reports on land that we own, or possibly at land that we lease, if any of it is suitable, and make recommendations to the council. So there are various aspects about risks and living orders discussed in the summary, but of course they would need to be more closely looked at. It would be lovely to be able to have an income from sport that might fund other activities in the year.
Yeah.
And this one is really up and coming, and it's astonishing the number of courts that have been put in place in the last half dozen years. It's forgotten the number, I'm really sorry, I should forget it is.
Yeah.
But it's now up to 1,500 and rising.
Is there a proposal you'd like to put forward?